So, we're looking at a pretty intense situation here with the Dolphin Company filing for bankruptcy amid a deep investigation at the Gulf World Marine Park.
Yeah, that's a wild ride, right? I mean, bankruptcy combined with animal mistreatment allegations, definitely something to unpack.
Absolutely. The company's not just any company. It runs 31 theme parks and marine exhibits across 8 countries. But it seems like Gulf World in Florida is really under the microscope.
Right, and it looks like the bankruptcy filing came amidst protests and a formal investigation into the park's conditions.
Exactly. And we're talking about a Chapter 11 filing seeking around $8 million in debtor-in-possession funding, which is all aimed at restructuring and trying to keep things running.
So effectively, they're trying to get some financial breathing room while the probe into the park's conditions, like those dolphin deaths, takes place?
Precisely. The probe centers on conditions that have led to the reported deaths of 4 dolphins, with conditions linked to things like green water, condemned buildings, and a famously dilapidated enclosure.
Right.
Sadly enough.
And those conditions seem to stem from neglect that's really hard to miss. I heard reports of broken concrete and even a case where a piece of concrete ended up in a dolphin's mouth.
Yeah, it's like, the kind of shocking neglect that leaves you wondering how something so critical could slip past regulatory systems. Especially when you see multiple inspection reports flagging serious issues.
And the reports mentioned that not only were the pool filtration systems down, sometimes operating at half capacity, but also that the infrastructure was crumbling.
Definitely. And it wasn't just one isolated incident. This came up repeatedly in inspections between January 2023 and March 2024, which really points to a long-standing problem.
I mean, it's practically a cascade of failures, right? From inadequate maintenance to outright hazardous conditions for dolphins that call these pools home.
Exactly. And the stakes are huge. Think about it. These dolphins have been kept in enclosures that are not just subpar, but downright dangerous. An environment that some say is, literally, past the point of salvaging.
And it's not just about the physical conditions, is it? There are also mounting protests. Citizens have even staged protests outside, comparing the dolphin enclosures to something like a small apartment pool, which is just absurd.
Right, and let's not ignore how public pressure and activist groups like Tidebreakers played a role by sharing drone footage that brought a lot of this into the spotlight. That footage really amplified public concern.
It seems like regulatory bodies are also stepping in here. Florida's Attorney General directed an investigation saying they simply won't tolerate animal cruelty.
True, and that's a major point. What's interesting is that even as state and local law enforcement got involved, like the FWC and USDA agents being seen around the park, it appears that the park's management wasn't very cooperative.
Yeah.
Reports say they even denied access to inspectors.
Now that's a concerning sign, right? If you're hiding from inspectors, there's probably something very wrong under the hood.
Absolutely, it's like trying to hide what's not working. And this lack of transparency extends to the Dolphin Company's other holdings, like the Miami Seaquarium, which has also faced its own set of issues. A pattern emerges here that's hard to ignore.
So you're saying these issues might not be isolated to just Gulf World?
Exactly. The bankruptcy and the probe might just be the tip of the iceberg, revealing deeper issues that could affect other facilities run by the company.
Right.
Which raises some red flags for the future of the animals across these parks.
That's a fair point, and it makes you wonder how effective the oversight is across all these facilities, doesn't it?
For sure. And while some critics, like Valerie Green, urge immediate closure of these parks, others isolate the blame to the management practices of the Dolphin Company. It's a complicated scenario with many angles.
Speaking of which, I've got to ask, do you really think bankruptcy could be a viable way for the company to address these systemic issues? I mean, isn't it more like a financial band-aid rather than a solution to the operational failings?
You've got a point there. Bankruptcy might allow them to reorganize and hopefully redirect funds toward better care, but it doesn't inherently solve the core issues. It's like patching up a sinking ship with duct tape.
Exactly. And let's be honest, it could also be used to divert attention from the actual failures in animal care and safety.
Right, and critics argue that the focus is too much on shutting down dissent rather than actually addressing the welfare of the animals. And it's that tension that's so unsettling about all this.
And then there's the fact that, according to some opinions, even federal agencies are just documenting violations without taking strong action like fines or revoking licenses.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's frustrating because documentation without action only prolongs the animal's sufferings.
And adding to that, the lengthy bureaucratic processes might just mean continued neglect for the dolphins while the paperwork shuffles along.
Definitely, it's like the system is built so that by the time anything significant happens, it's already too late for the animals. And that's a heartbreaking reality.
And I imagine the public outcry is only going to get louder, especially as more details like these come to light.
That's for sure. The protests and the media coverage really put the spotlight on an issue that shouldn't be brushed under the carpet, an issue where animal welfare is at stake on a massive scale.
Yep.
Public pressure can sometimes force quicker government action, though.
Yet on the flip side, one could argue that financial restructuring might eventually divert funds away from, ensuring proper care.
Yeah, quite the catch-22. The intent may be to save the company, but if operational issues aren't addressed, you just delay the inevitable decline of animal care conditions. It's a tightrope walk.
And now, with potential impacts extending to other parks like the Miami Seaquarium, this situation could have far-reaching consequences.
Absolutely. It calls for not only financial accountability, but also a robust, systematic overhaul in how marine-themed parks manage animal habitats and safety. A true wake-up call.
It definitely leaves you thinking about the responsibilities companies have when it comes to animal care and how regulators need to step up their game.
Exactly. When it comes down to it, ensuring the welfare of these animals should be the top priority, not just turning a profit or keeping operations going amidst mounting controversies. It's a conversation that's far from over.
And as the investigations continue, one can only hope that real changes will be implemented rather than just financial maneuvers.